Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Section 28 of the Bermuda Monetary Authority Act 1969, I'm pleased to table the Bermuda Monetary Authority Annual Report 2021, hereinafter referred to as the report. Mr. Speaker, established more than 50 years ago, the Bermuda Monetary Authority is the independent regulator of the financial services sector in Bermuda. The authority operates pursuant to the Bermuda Monetary Authority Act 1969, which provides with a number of principal objects, including the supervision, regulation, and inspection of financial institutions operating in or from within Bermuda, together with the promotion of financial stability and the soundness of financial institutions. Mr. Speaker, the House will be aware that the authority has specific licensing and supervisory responsibilities under the following regulatory statutes: the Banks and Deposits Company Act 1999, the Digital Asset Business Act 2018, the Insurance Act 1978, the Investment Business Act 2003, the Investment Funds Act 2006, the Fund Administration Provider Business Act 2019, and the Trust Regulation of Business Act 2001, together with other statutes. Mr. Speaker, the authority's mission is to protect and enhance Bermuda's reputation and position as a leading international financial center, utilizing a team of highly skilled professionals acting in the public interest to promote financial stability, safeguard our currency, and to provide effective and efficient supervision and regulation. Mr. Speaker, the tasks the authority must address are significant and varied and critical to the country. In carrying out its responsibilities, the authority works with a range of entities, supervisors, industry stakeholder groups, international standard-setting bodies, as well as a number of government ministries. The authority works in close cooperation with the Ministry of Finance and the Financial Policy Council. Mr. Speaker, the authority has received international recognition of its work. The House will be aware that Bermuda is one of only 7 total jurisdictions worldwide that has received the United States National Association of Insurance Commissioners Qualified Jurisdiction status. Additionally, Bermuda is just one of 3 jurisdictions to have received the NAIC elevated status of reciprocal jurisdiction. Bermuda has also been granted equivalent status under the EU Solvency II Directive for its commercial insurer sectors. Mr. Speaker, at year-end 31st of December 2021, the authority is comprised of 219 full-time permanent employees as compared with 217 in 2020. Mr. Speaker, the authority is authorized to act as an advisor to the Minister of Finance on policy matters relating to any financial institution. Accordingly, it may propose laws where it can do so appropriately and consistently with its functions under the Act. The regulatory proposals covered during the relevant period included, but not limited to, insurance, investment business, anti-money laundering and anti-terrorism financing, fees, and digital asset businesses. Mr. Speaker, members' attention is drawn to the following key highlights. Banking sector. Mr. Speaker, while the number of banks in Bermuda remain unchanged at 4, the consolidated assets of the banking sector increased by 4.8%, or $1.2 billion to $26.8 billion in 2021. This change was in line with an increase in deposit liabilities and is evidenced primarily by cash and deposit liabilities increasing by 26.3% to $5 billion. Mr. Speaker, investments retain the largest share of total assets at 46.1%, followed by loans at 32.6% and cash deposits at 18.8%. Mr. Speaker, the loan-to-deposit ratio increased from 87% to 81% at the end of 2021. Conversely, the industry recorded a 1.1% increase in gross loans during 2021, increasing from $8.8 billion at the end of 2020 to $8.9 billion at the end of 2021. Moving on to the insurance sector, Mr. Speaker. 1,158 insurance companies were registered as at 31st of December 2021, as compared to 1,193 in 2020. There were 64 insurers registered in 2021. Mr. Speaker, total capital and surplus was $350 billion in 2020, and gross written premiums were $295 million in 2020, Mr. Speaker, up from $198 billion in 2019. With the investment sector, there were 49 licensed investment business providers operating in Bermuda in 2021. The aggregate total assets under management was $252 billion compared to $232 billion in 2020. 73% of the assets under management pertain to European clients, while 18% pertain to Bermuda clients. Total assets under administration were $31.5 billion compared to $30.6 billion reported for 2020. Mr. Speaker, there were 799 licensed investment funds operating in Bermuda with a net asset value of $219.6 billion. Mr. Speaker, there are 23 fund administrator licenses in issue at the end of 2021 with $195.5 billion of assets under administration. Mr. Speaker, the total market capitalization of the Bermuda Stock Exchange stood at $334 billion at the end of 2021 as compared to $255 billion at the end of 2020. Mr. Speaker, a total of 281 new insurance-linked securities were added to the BSX in 2021, increasing the nominal value up to $50.8 billion. Mr. Speaker, domestic trading volume totaled 3 million shares in 2021 and was valued at $23.4 million. Mr. Speaker, the authority currently serves in various leadership positions at the International Association of Insurance Supervisors. Presently, the authority serves as a member of the IAIS Executive Committee, the Macroprudential Committee, as well as the Policy Development Committee. In April 2021, the authority was appointed to the chair of the IAIS Financial Crime Task Force. In addition, and the Bank for International Settlements. The authority is also a member of the Global Financial Innovation Network. Financials. Mr. Speaker's members' attention is drawn to the following highlights set out in the Statement of Accounts report. First, Mr. Speaker, net comprehensive income was $13.3 million, up from $727,000 in the previous year. Speaker, total revenue increased by 20.19%, up to $73.09 million, up from $16.81 million the previous year. The increase is mainly due to an $11.42 million increase in revenue from supervisory and licensing fees, Mr. Speaker, attributed to the growth, certainly in the insurance sector and large insurers. Mr. Speaker, expenses decreased by 0.5% to $59.79 million, down from $60.09 million in 2020. The decrease was mainly due to the $1.27 million in decreased amortization and certain intangible assets. In addition, Mr. Speaker, travel expenses were reduced, as there were significantly reduced travel. Mr. Speaker, licensing fees were $68,672,000 at the end of the year, compared with $57,243,000, of which $59 million was paid by the insurance sector. Mr. Speaker, board members are paid an annual fee of $20,000. Board subcommittee chairs are paid an annual fee of $25,000, and the chairman of the board receives an annual fee of $75,000. Mr. Speaker, the CEO's salary is set at $500,000, and this is no change, and the CEO is eligible for a performance-based bonus up to 50% of base salary. Salaries for the other 12 members of the executive team range from $250,000 to $425,000 in 2021, with a performance bonus of up to 35% of the salary. Fines. Mr. Speaker, revenue from fines, penalties, and other income in 2021 also grew by $1.32 million due to increased AML fines, insurance fines, and late penalty fees. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Section 8 of the Act, with the agreement of myself as the Minister of Finance, the authority added $7.6 million of its net earnings to the General Reserve of the authority. This agreement recognizes significant ongoing investment required to maintain and enhance the strong, robust, and internationally recognized regulatory program that the authority has developed and implemented. The remainder of the net revenue, $5.7 million, was repaid to the Consolidated Fund. The House is advised that the sum paid to the Consolidated Fund represents 50% of the authority's income net of total fines. Mr. Speaker, in reviewing the authority's performance, the Auditor General has issued a clean opinion. Mr. Speaker, I wish to express my sincere thanks to the Board and the staff of the authority for helping to bring so much success to Bermuda. Their performance in this time deserves all of this House's appreciation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.